Welcome to Mortgages and More, your go-to podcast for the latest insights in the mortgage industry. Join us as we dive into expert advice, unveil actionable tips, and learn how to empower the next generation of homebuyers. Get ready to elevate your knowledge and make those property dreams a reality. Let's get started.
If that doesn't get you pumped up, I don't know what it's gonna take there, Ally. What?
Man, right? I love it. Next generation homebuyers. That's like talking my language.
So great to have you on here. First of all, thank you for saying yes. So when Kyle and I started putting together our hit list of who we wanted to contribute to the book, you were like one of the first in my mind that I wanted to have your perspective with Gen Z shared with the readers. And so thank you for doing that.
Well, thank you for including me. I remember it was like, I read the title and I was like, there's no way, rethinking for the next generation. Like, there's no way I could pass up on this. So thank you for allowing me to be a part of it.
Yeah, it's coming together. So we've been doing these daily episodes. So we're in week 3 in January as we're publishing. Cheat code here. Everybody knows this, but we're recording a little earlier. But we're in week 3 of these daily podcasts, and we're asking our writers, our contributors, to, without giving away the chapter, but just to give a little glimpse into what the reader is going to learn from your chapter. And for those that don't know Ally Carty with Active Comply, you need to be following Ally on LinkedIn and Instagram, and I don't know, are you on TikTok?
I am on TikTok. I'm launching a new presence, but I am there.
Yeah, so we'll put some links on this when we post it to get everybody to find you. But if you want to learn and understand what's going on with Gen Z, and specifically how this generation thinks about home ownership, Ally is the follow. So everybody needs to tune in, and you need to buy the book and get ready to read a great chapter. So let's tease them on what they're going to learn from you, Ally.
Awesome. Well, thank you for the kind accolades. I will say you were the first supporter of Ally Carty Gen Z in the mortgage industry. I remember I was like, Mom, someone shared my post, and I was so excited because I was so nervous to post it in the first place. And so thank you for always being a huge champion and raw fan for Ally Carty.
Well, it's real. So just so you know, I think whenever you're posting anything, I'm paying attention because I'm learning right along with everybody else. So just keep doing what you're doing there. Good stuff.
Well, thank you. And so from January to, I guess this is January a year later, very full circle, I have embarked on this Gen Z journey as I've entered the industry in a time that's a little bit challenging. It's been so insightful and refreshing for me to see industry leaders really embracing what that next generation looks like. And this book only furthers that mission. And so my contribution, without fully giving it away, is going to hopefully give genuine, like authentic content straight from a Gen Zer's mouth. I've done interviews and surveyed hundreds of Gen Z individuals in my life and really gone down to the raw conversations that there's a lack of education. There's a lot of resources for us to be connecting with Gen Z. And hopefully in my chapter, I'm going to share a little bit about both of those and bring actual raw quotes that I'll break down and share tips on how to better be connecting with Gen Z as a borrower, but also just as an individual in your life. You know, I've had some people come up to me and be like, man, I read one of your articles, or I saw your video, and all of a sudden my daughter and I had more in common, and I felt like I understood her a little bit better. So hopefully with my chapter, readers would get all Gen Z and a little bit more relatability.
And if you think about the title of the book, right? Rethink everything to be a next generation loan officer. The title really is all about recognizing that there's a next generation home buyer that's in the market today, and that will be our market, going forward. And so I'm not a Gen Zer. I have one as a daughter. So I think I know the generation a little bit, but there's a lot of loan officers that are in that, 40 to my age group. And when we talk about next generation loan officers, we're not saying it's just young originators. We're literally putting this book together so that all of us collectively can learn how to better serve what is becoming this massive next generation home buying segment. So it's a pretty special collaboration, and you'll hear the word collaboration a lot from me in 2024, because I do think that is what's going to disrupt the market, is collaboration. Yeah. So you could have clearly written a book all by yourself based on what you've done so far in your career. But what is one or two things that you didn't get to write about that you want to make sure people are aware of and that you feel passionate about?
That's a great question. I think
besides the Knowles, not the Knowles.
Oh my gosh, we were treated so dirty this FP season, but next year is 12 teams. That's all I just keep saying. We'll prove ourselves. But I think when it comes, I submitted my article very, very on the cusp of the deadline, or my chapter, because I was just such at a crossroads where I wanted to write essentially 4 or 5 different chapters, but I was like, this can't be all over the place, Ally, get it together. So as I kind of rewrote and took out pieces, I realized there were some things that I would have loved to cover more. That being recruiting Gen Z. That's such a huge thing. And I hear all my friends work in industries and none of them even know what the mortgage industry is. So I would have loved to talk about those quotes, those direct conversations, and ways that we as an industry can be connecting with not just Gen Z borrowers, but Gen Z prospective employees. And another topic I would have loved to cover is really just social media as a whole, because I really tried to hone in on the Gen Z borrower, what to expect, tips and tricks. But there's a whole plethora, and I'm sure there's so many amazing chapters on social media in this book, but TikTok, and just, I had a question on an article that I published the other day, and it was like, do we like TikTok dances? And it was like, I could have talked about that in a huge paragraph because it is an in-depth question, but there's so much not just about the Gen Z consumer, but we've all as a population slowly evolved that. Yeah. So those would be the things that I would cover if I was able to spend, 5,000 words.
Right. Well, you referenced an article. I know you were published in Housing Wire right at the end of 2023. So congratulations.
Thank you.
First of all, congratulations to Housing Wire to get Ally to write and publish an article, but it's awesome for you. Give us a little bit about what went into that article, and we'll put a link there to the article as well in this post.
Well, thank you for the shout out. And it's funny, I set out in January I didn't set out, I'm writing my goals right now. And I realized so much came to fruition over the past year that I couldn't have even planned. But I remember in May, or maybe it was March, I don't remember. It was in the spring. There was a Housing Wire, Rising Stars or 30 Under 30. And I didn't really understand it, but I remember writing down that I will be featured in Housing Wire. I thought that it would be under that. But it came even more to crazy dreams, and I actually got to publish an article, so it was so cool and full circle for me. I'm a huge manifester. I like writing things down, repeating them every day, so practicing that day early in the month in January. But I touched a lot upon Gen Z borrowers, but I also talked about just the digital branding out there to serve Gen Z, how to connect with them, what's the top 5 most important things to be talking about across social media. There was a lot of different intricacies in the article, but I made sure not to stay repetitive. So if you do get the chance, anyone listening, check out the article. It's on Housing Wire. It is What Makes Gen Z Different. And so I think they published that at the end of December.
Yeah, and I've had the honor and privilege to read that article, but also to be able to read your chapter that you submitted. So there's a ton of information there. Ally, keep doing what you're doing. You are making a difference. You're helping all of us get better at understanding, again, that next generation home buyer. So glad that you said yes and are contributing to the book. And looking forward to more great things from you here in 2024.
Absolutely. Thank you for putting this together. I'm so excited to see it and how it impacts our industry as a whole. I'm excited to be on the train and keep trucking forward.
Well, guys, we are going to be back one more time tomorrow. Actually, I think we have 8 more episodes as we wrap up January. But come back tomorrow. Ally, thanks again. And look out in the first week of February for more information on the book. See you.
Awesome. Bye, guys.